Welcome to the webinar on alternative ways to get orders for customizable products. As those of you attending or listening may know, Gateway 3D specialise in software for mass customization. And clearly most of these orders get driven by e-commerce websites, which is obvious. But the question is, why should you look at alternative ways for getting order for customizable products? Well, this is why you should look at it. Ultimately, although e-commerce is growing, and within 5 years it should take up maybe 20% of the total retail spend, that still means at the moment 85, and even in 5 years, 80% of all spend is done in store. So in a B2C environment for retail products, that's why you should consider it, because 80%, or even at the moment 85% of your market isn't ordering via e-commerce. So you're sort of saying that that percentage of the market at the moment can't order customizable products. It's also fair to say that customizable products can work for B2C and B2B. So although traditionally people can order B2B products online, there's also no reason why they wouldn't order those in in-store environments too. So what are the main options other than e-commerce for selling customizable products? Well, here's a summary of them. So you can, believe it or not, take orders for customizable products via the telephone if people are giving names or anything like that. In a B2B environment, you'd probably then send a proof. But in a B2C environment, it is quite normal to get orders for customizable products via the telephone. There's also the traditional option, which is still used a fair bit, which is mail order, where people are actually filling in a form and sending that in, or even filling in a form in store. Then there's the increasingly popular option, where people are in store and you give them a CFD, a customer-facing device, or a tablet, or even their own mobile, and you allow people to place an order for a customizable product using that device for either in-store fulfillment or perhaps dropship fulfillment. Then you've got the option where people maybe, you could use the example of party invites or maybe conferences in a B2B environment where people collect a list on a spreadsheet of personalized fields and want to import that into a system. And then the last option, which is becoming increasingly popular, people want to email in orders. Everybody does do lots of things on email. So you want to be able to automate stripping the data out of the email and putting it in the systems. Now, the Gateway OMS, or Order Management System, which we're going to take a quick look at in a minute, will handle all of these things for you in an automated way to help you create the artwork and manage your workflow from a production point of view, just as if the order has come in automatically from an e-commerce site. So the first option we're going to do is use the example of telephone orders. So if I switch to the Gateway OMS system, this is a list of products, if you like. Now, historically, this kind of thing, when you're taking it on the telephone, you obviously can't upload an image. But if you're using text-based personalization or pre-designs, you could select the product from a list. So somebody rings up, so I want to order one of your bespoke wine glasses, and we have an option within the system called place order. And that loads the screen as if it's an e-commerce. So you would then take the scenario where somebody says, okay, and your name, sir, is Mr. Talbot. So is that Talbot? So it's Talbot. And your wife, presumably, is Mrs. Talbot. Talbot. And you've now created the artwork. And if we hit the Add to Cart option now, that will get the artwork prepared for the factory and allow me then to enter the details for the person. We even include within the software for UK companies postcode lookup. So we can type in here, maybe SK10 to XR. and it looks up and finds all the companies within that and adds the address for you. So there's a speedy way of doing it as well if you've got the customer on the phone. And then we can then say, Mr. Tolbert, and what's your email, sir? And you can see how quick and easy it then is to process an order. And the big advantage from a customer service point of view is that puts the order into your workflow just as if it was coming from an e-commerce site. You've also got the added advantage, if you want to process via credit card, you can choose credit card processing, and when we go to payment in a minute, it would then bring up the credit card details to type into the system. So hopefully you could see there, and obviously that same method could be used for adding mail order forms to the system. You could just literally have a list, type the information in, and all of that goes straight into your workflow. Consequently, you could also do that in a guided manner within an in-store environment. And you imagine you don't have to have a kiosk or anything, just a PC screen. So anyone within a store can come up to you and say things. And then that has the added advantage then of bringing in image products, because people could log into their Facebook account. But we'll go into that in a little more detail shortly. So hopefully that covers off for you telephone orders and mail orders. So the next one on our list is in-store kiosks. So let's take a look on the Gateway website. So a popular option at the moment now, a kiosk has traditionally always been a £3, £4, £5 or even £10,000 investment for a shop. So by using these tablet-based kiosks, you can now deliver kiosks into a shop environment or even a trade counter environment for, around £500. A kiosk typically includes the tablet, the secure lockable container, which is obviously key because it'd be expensive to keep losing tablets, and a choice of kiosk apps. So to give you an idea, these are the normal Personalised apps from our system, but you can set them up to do a range of products, and we have a range that are set up nicely for kiosks. So in this particular example, I might come along and say, yeah, I've got an iPhone 4, continue. It says then, which type of case do you want? Continue. And it will then load up an interface, which type of design do you want to put on it, and allow you to walk you through the process. Now, we've done separate webinars for wholly on the kiosk concept, but really, obviously, going back to my original slides and the fact that 85% of retail spend is happening still in store, it kind of feels a shame not to be able to sell personalized products in store. And one of the options you have for many cases now, you could have in-store fulfillment where shops can buy printers and print products, or you've got a network of drop shippers. And those of you that are familiar with Gateway 3D obviously know we have a network globally of over 100 drop shippers now, where you could sell stuff in store, or you could go back to the option we looked at earlier, where you can just use a normal computer screen to place the order in store. So we've covered off a few options there: telephone sales, mail order sales, in-store kiosks. Then this is a useful one: imported orders. The reason that imported orders are so useful is, as we discussed or mentioned at the beginning, if you took a scenario where I was organizing a conference and I needed conference folders and perhaps t-shirts or shirts for everyone attending the conference, people can send you a spreadsheet of hundreds of people, and you can use the OMS option to import from CSV. That way, all the orders go into the system, the artwork's created, it's batched appropriately and run through your production just as if it's been placed online. So that's another useful feature of OMS to allow you to import your orders. And moving on from that, there's another option now where lots of people email you stuff. Happens in a B2C environment, but particularly in a B2B environment. Now, as long as the emails have some logic to them, we can use screen scraping software. We use one called Zapier. And when the emails appear in an inbox, the Gateway OMS system can look at those orders. We go back to there now, and we will cancel out of that one, and we click on the order option. All the orders will automatically get pulled into the system and the artwork created from the email. So that's a particularly powerful option where you can set up OMS to suck orders in from emails, either using the Zapier parser or by using standard format that OMS has been taught exists in advance. And the fifth and final method that you can add orders for personalized products into the system is via social networks. So what's particularly useful about this, if we drop onto the Gateway website, gateway3d.com, you'll see there that we've got our own Facebook app, but also with our smart link technology, you can drop the links onto Twitter, Pinterest, Google, LinkedIn. So if we just jump to the Gateway Facebook page, and you can see we've added the Personalizer app there. So if I want my personalized tankard of beer, I simply type in my name, hit add to cart, and that will take me either to PayPal or off to a one-page shopping cart. So that, in essence, allows you to sell personalized products on any social media platform. And again, we have separate webinars on that whole topic, but it just brings you back to this concept here of the different ways that I can add orders for personalized products to my system. So the overriding principle of this webinar, and they're designed to be short and sweet for you, is that you've got these standard options for adding products into your workflow so they behave as if they've come from an e-commerce website. So from a marketing point of view and a customer service point of view, don't forget these options exist. Clearly for Customize, a lot of it is driven by websites, but you have these other options too. So thank you for taking the time to listen to our webinar this morning, and we hope you found it useful. More details from gateway3d.com or info@gateway3d.com. Thanks for listening. God, someone said, can't hear.